Hey everybody, Rose Matter here. Welcome to part 4 of my Project Eden's Garden Let's Play. This is the moment I think you guys have been waiting for, other than, of course, the victim reveal, which was shocking, by the way. I can't believe, of all people, it was Wolfgang. He was one of the ones I thought was going to be safe for sure. So we have done the investigation, and it is now time for the class trial. And I'm very excited, but I'm a little nervous at the same time because it's I'm going to be a little rusty with the class trial. As for who I think the culprit is, the only person I can think of right now, based on the information we've been given, is Diana, just because of the fact that she doesn't have a verified alibi. From what I know, I think she's the only person who wasn't with someone else when it all went down. But these cases are always more complicated than that. You know, it's like, just because she seems to be the only person who it could possibly be doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. But who knows? Anyway, only one way to find out. We're going to go ahead and do the class trial now. I imagine this is probably going to be a two-parter because class trials are always like a little bit long. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm very excited. Let's go. Okay, so as always, because it has been a little while, we're going to go ahead and go over the truth bullets. And I am going to go through each one and read them, so if you want to, you can go ahead and skip it because this might take a couple of minutes. Blackout. At the time of Wolfgang's murder, Winona and Ulysses were by the giant tree. Winona does not recall a blackout happening. The same goes for Eloise, who spent her morning in the courtyard with Desmond. Blood spots, drops of blood were scattered around the boiler room door. They were also scattered in the outside hall. Boiler room doorknob. The doorknob has been flipped, so the lock is now on the outside. Wolfgang's hands. There were burn marks all over Wolfgang's hands. DJ pad clock. The digital clock on Mark's DJ pad is frozen at 9:35 a.m. Mark believes the blackout caused some kind of internal damage to his DJ pad, and the clock is frozen on the time it last displayed before power was lost. Extension cord. A tattered extension cord floating in the water. There was no internal plug, only a frayed tip lined with a black substance. A collection of similar-looking extension cords were discovered in storage closet D. These ones were fully intact, and the internal plugs were particularly slim. Footsteps. When Kai and I were exploring storage closet C, we heard someone run past the closet. The footsteps sounded like they were moving away from the boiler room. Based on how soft the footsteps were, it can be inferred the person was not wearing shoes. Game tournament timeline. The game tournament began at 9 a.m. and was attended by 8 people. Of those 8, 6 competed in the tournament. Kai, me, Jet, Cassidy, Sean, and Grace. First match was between myself and Kai, but our game was cut short by the blackout. Half the generator's wires were melted, and what remained intact had been completely singed. It's like a bomb went off inside the machine. Grace's testimony. Wolfgang was going to attend the tournament with Grace, but had to cancel this morning after waking up with a sore stomach. He encouraged Grace to attend the tournament with Jean instead. Knife. A knife found floating in the water. On the blade and in the surrounding water was the unmistakable color of blood. While inspecting the kitchen, I discovered a knife block inside one of the cabinets. This block just so happened to be missing a large knife. Odd smell. The air in the boiler room smelled like an odd combination of cereal and alcohol. Jean believed the smells result of a chemical reaction. Now, maybe, I'm thinking that there was the Ulysses talked about how he doesn't have a sense of smell, right? So maybe that's going to be a factor somehow? Shrapnel. Chunks of an unidentified material were floating in the water near the generator. Steel rolling pin. God, there's a lot. There's a lot more truth bullets than I remember. A dusty rolling pin discovered inside storage closet A. On one end is a small dent, on the other 2 very clear handprints. Storage closets. The underground floor had 4 storage closets. During the blackout, the tournament attendees who were searching for backup generator agreed to enter the closet in pairs. Eva and Grace entered storage closet A. Jet and Cassidy entered storage closet B. Kai and I entered storage closet C. Jean and Mark entered storage closet D. Suspicious note. A note discovered inside Wolfgang's blazer pocket. The paper was damaged by the water, smudging most of the ink beyond readability. However, a few words can be made out at the bottom of the note. Secret. 8:15 a.m. and close the door. Taser gun. A taser gun found at the scene of the crime. Thin piece of metal. A small thin piece of metal discovered near the boiler room door. That looks almost like a lockpick. The way that it's kind of bent. Toshiko's fetch quest. Toshiko left the dorms before 8 a.m. to fetch Ingrid some medication from the pharmacy. On her way back, she briefly encountered Wolfgang in the hallway. Ingrid overheard bits and pieces of Toshiko and Wolfgang's conversation from her room. She's fairly confident the encounter happened around 8:10 a.m. Tozy tablet number 2. The victim is Wolfgang, the ultimate lawyer. He was discovered in the boiler room on the underground floor. He's kneeling in the water with his upper body is slumped over the concrete platform. Estimated time of death is 9:35 a.m. Wolfgang's neck. A huge discolored mark ran down the back of Wolfgang's neck. Was this the first sign of decomposition, or was it a bruise left by something? Next to the discoloration on Wolfgang's neck was a tiny red dot, the skin around which looked inflamed. There was no scabbing, which suggests the dot appeared recently. Okay, that's it. Everything. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and start the class trial.
Let's get this started, shall we? Welcome back to the trial grounds, everyone. Unlike previously, today will be no circus. No mockery woven with stitches and needles. A true, fair, and proper trial will commence. A battle of wits between the blackened and the spotless. I doubt I have to explain the rules to you again. But even so, you must vote for who you believe is the blackened. If the blackened receives the majority of votes, only they will be punished, and the rest of you will resume your killing game experience. However, if you vote for the wrong person, then expect no sympathy from your hosts. All spotless students will meet a tragic end, while the blackened will be granted release from this academy. Happy discussing! We pray for your survival and success.
Can someone please break this silence?
I don't want to talk about this.
Wolfgang deserves justice. But putting everyone's lives on the line like this is just cruel.
Oh, crap. Without a lawyer, we're totally screwed. Whenever I turn my head, I keep expecting to see him at his podium.
Oh, don't cry, Toshiko. He's in a better place now, you hear?
Whichever one of you sick bastards did this, whatever it takes, no matter if I have to kick the brains out of every single person here, I'll find you.
Do you really gotta resort to violence?
Let's just stay calm, okay? Making peace with our situation is, the first step in handling it.
I'm still siding you. I'm side-eyeing you a little bit, Diana. I don't want to believe it's you. You seem nice, but we've had it before where characters seem nice and they've committed murder.
How the hell can I stay calm when there's a killer on the loose? That bastard is watching us right now, fully content putting our lives on the line. Is that what you call peace? Being at the mercy of some dickhead silent observer?
Well, nobody knows for sure if the killer is even a silent observer. If anything, the killer might try to feign innocence through other means.
Oh shit. Oh, Eloise. Okay, I called it. I was like, I bet she's gonna surprise us sometimes. Like, she seems very shy, nervous, but I was like, she's gonna have some moments where she can have her quiet moments of badassery. Is she saying that, like, Grace is being really loud to draw attention away or to make herself, like, seem more angry about things? That, because I don't know, like, why was she so close to Wolfgang? Like, we've known each other for what, a couple of days?
For instance, pretending
Oh
to be
shit.
outspoken about the case.
Oh shit, Eloise. Huh?
What the? Are you accusing me of something?
I mean, what you did during the investigation seems really suspicious.
True. I don't think it's Grace, though, but let's just get this out of the way.
What did Grace do?
She stood in front of Wolfgang's dorm room and wouldn't let anyone go inside. Intentionally or not, it really hindered our investigation.
Because of Grace, almost everyone who planned to investigate Wolfgang's dorm gave up and went elsewhere. It was only after some of us started protesting that she finally relented. You know, for someone who seems so adamant about finding Wolfgang's killer, it's odd she tried to conceal potential evidence.
I'm not not saying Grace is definitely the killer. I just think we should be cautious of her.
She has an alibi, though.
Huh?
Grace couldn't have murdered anyone, because she went to the game tournament.
If it wasn't for those footsteps, I would be like, it could have been like a pre-planned thing, right? It's like set Wolfgang up to put him in the water, and then I'm assuming that's something to do with the generator electrocuting the water, and that's like why he had the thing on his hands. It looked like burn marks, because like those are the kind of markings you get, like I think when you're struck by electricity. But it's the footsteps that are throwing me off. That's what's like leading me towards Diana. The footsteps are the one thing that's like, how is that possible? I don't know. But any other time, I was just like, someone could have had that set up to go off at a certain time where they're conveniently away from the boiler room and they can say they have an alibi.
Grace attended the tournament?
Does that rule her out from committing the murder?
Well, yeah. We had to be at the dining hall by 9 a.m.-ish, which was like half an hour before the murder. Nobody left the tournament after it started either. Nobody I know of, anyway.
There weren't many of us there. Had someone disappeared, it would have been obvious.
So, Grace is off the hook? Wow. That plot thread resolved itself quicker than I was anticipating.
So Jean, Grace, and Kai attended Cassidy and Jet's game tournament.
And me.
and Mark, he could totally commit a murder, and I feel like it would go under the radar because people forget he's there, myself included.
And Mark.
Damon and I also attended the tournament. We can also vouch for Grace.
You guys aren't lying, are you?
Lying about Grace?
What the heck? Are you seriously doubting 8 testimonies?
If the 8 of you were really together when Wolfgang was discovered, then Kai, doesn't that contradict what you said before the investigation? You told everyone you and Damon found Wolfgang first. How is that possible if you guys never left the dining hall?
What happened here? Damon and me, we just found him like this.
I never said I didn't leave the dining hall!
But earlier you told us you were with the other attendees.
That's because us partygoers left the dining hall together.
Mm-hmm. When the blackout struck, the tournament folk joined arms and headed straight downstairs. I would know. I saw him.
There was a blackout?
You don't remember?
Actually, I don't recall a power outage either.
How could that be? Did an alternate timeline converge with ours?
Why is it that some people can recall a blackout, but not others? Thinking back on the testimonies I've collected, I can probably make an educated guess. Okay, blackout affected one building.
I got it. The reason not everyone experienced a blackout is because only the building containing our dorms was affected. If I had to guess, the courtyard and tree area are connected to separate power sources.
So the tournament attendees were affected, yet they left the dining hall? Why not stay put until the power returned?
Because we were the ones who brought it back. It didn't seem like the power was being restored anytime soon, so we took up the challenge of fixing it ourselves. And just our luck, boom! We found a spare generator lying in one of the storage closets. Of course, then we found Wolfgang.
She's right. The 8 of us split into 4 pairs and inspected a storage room each.
Because of the toaster trinket map, we know which ones, too. Eva and Grace checked storage closet A. Jet and I checked storage closet B. Damon and Kai checked storage closet C. And Jean and Mark checked storage closet D.
Yeah, I was with Grace. She can confirm being with me, too. Yeah, we were together.
Oh, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry for what I said earlier.
Oh, you are permanently on Grace's shit list now. Grace is already mad enough about her having her secret, but now?
Sorry? You're sorry for accusing me of murder. Sorry doesn't cut it, you conniving two-faced bitch! If you really want my mercy, then get on your knees and beg for it!
Whoa! Uncool, dude.
Hang on. Even if you aren't involved in Wolfgang's murder, you must know something about his last known whereabouts.
What makes you think she'd be privy to that?
You see, there's proof Grace spent last night with Wolfgang.
Grace and Roya, man? Talk about an unexpected pairing.
And Cassidy's like, can we talk about this instead? I want to know the tea.
When I investigated Wolfgang's room, I saw a bunch of golfing equipment inside. Also, there was a blue woman's jacket tossed over the mantle of Wolfgang's bed.
God, that just makes it sound even more risque. It makes it sound very, I don't know. Grace.
He's right. I also saw the equipment and the clothes.
The clothes are understandable, maybe. But why was golfing equipment in the room?
Yo, little history dude. Wolfgang must have spilt the beans with you, right?
Why would Ulysses know anything?
Common courtesy. If you're gonna have a one-night stand, you gotta let your roomie know in advance.
Common courtesy also says you should watch your mouth around children.
I'm surprised that Grace didn't jump on that and be like, excuse me, don't accuse me of that.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm getting this right, Ulysses is bunking with Wolfgang?
Well, we only shared a dorm for one night.
You aren't bunking with him anymore?
Let me provide some context. As you may remember, after Desmond suggested everyone bunk together, the male students were directed to the dining hall. Once there, we played rock, paper, scissors to determine who would partner with who. Jet partnered with Mark, Desmond with Jean, Damon with Kai, and I with Wolfgang. Those were the pairings at the time. However, the following day, Grace and I agreed to swap rooms.
Yeah? Why'd you do that?
For reasons.
Totally not suspicious.
It was a win-win situation. I get Grace out of my hair. She gets me out of hers.
Yeah, I can't see the two of them. Two very strong personalities that would not go well together.
You two were originally bunking together?
The pairings were decided via a game of tic-tac-toe. I wasn't big on my partner being chosen for me. So when the opportunity arose to change that, I took it.
Thus, I became Winona's roommate, and Grace became Wolfgang's.
Can confirm. I watched the whole thing play out.
Since the room swap happened the night after we implemented the bunk buddy system, that would mean Grace and Wolfgang have been bunking for about a day and a half. Ugh, gross.
In that case, Desmond was right about those two being together last night. Grace, did Wolfgang act strange at any point? Like, maybe he said something that stuck out to you, or, oh, maybe had trouble getting to sleep.
No. Nothing weird happened last night. Nothing happened last night, but... The morning of the murder, this morning, Wolfgang told me he felt sick.
Sick?
With a stomachache. It hurt so bad he couldn't get out of bed. I was gonna cancel my plans for today, but he convinced me to attend the tournament. So, I left his room right after the morning announcement. And yes, I'm talking about the game tournament. The same one Wolfgang acted all hesitant about attending. Newsflash, I changed his mind after breakfast yesterday.
Hold on a sec. That ain't what you told me this morning.
What did Grace tell you?
Simply put, she felt like competing. Grace knew I planned to compete as well, so she asked me to be her sparring partner, since you needed one to enter the tournament.
She withheld information.
Aye, that she did. Of course, since I now know Wolfgang's condition at the time, I can't say I blame her. If someone you cared for was in a vulnerable position, would you go around and admit that in a killing game? No. You would try to protect that person by saying nothing at all.
When you put it that way, man.
It's a very nice way of Jean thinking about it. He's trying to see the best in it. Other people would see that as suspicious, but he's trying to look at it in like a more empathetic way.
I think it's obtuse.
Huh?
Say we assume the best of Grace. She withheld information not to trick anyone, but to protect someone she cares about. What then should we make of the glaring contradiction in her testimony?
The hell do you mean, contradiction?
If your bunking partner was too ill to make the short trek to the dining hall, how did he walk all the way to the boiler room?
Good point. If Wolfgang really were bedridden, he would have stayed in his room.
Now that you mention it, to reach the underground floor, wouldn't Wolfgang need to descend, like, 4 flights of stairs? It's nothing for a healthy person, but for a guy who's supposedly really sick...
It's not my fault it doesn't make sense. It's just what Wolfgang told me.
Yeah. Didn't we decide Grace wasn't the killer anyway?
That's not to say she doesn't know more than she's letting on.
I'm not withholding anything else. Leave me alone.
Is there more to the story than Grace is telling us? Too many people are letting their emotions cloud their judgment. I need to solve this mystery and set things straight. Alright, here we go. First non-stop debates. I will definitely have to take a look at the controls. I'm a little rusty on them.
Why don't you tell everyone the truth, Grace?
Okay, change bullet, fire bullet. Okay, show the truth bullet menu, focus. Oh god, the time's going while I'm looking at this. Okay, speed up, focus, and hold cycle bullet. Okay.
I've got nothing else to explain.
Toshiko's fetch quest, game tournament time, blood spots.
Okay, hear me out. Secret hallways.
We would have found those by now.
Maybe Wolfgang was carried by the killer.
That, or Wolfgang never told Grace he was sick.
I wouldn't lie about what he said.
What if Wolfgang used the elevator in the tree?
You're not helping.
Okay, that's it. There's a major discrepancy in Grace's testimony, but is she necessarily at fault for that? Okay, let's take a closer look at... So there was blood spots. Okay, I don't think anything to do with that. Maybe the game tournament timeline? Begin at 9 a.m. Okay. I don't think there's anything there. What was the other one? Fetch quest. Oh, no, that's gotta be it, right? Because, oh, who was it that said something about he was carried? But that's obviously not the case, but I'm just gonna take a look at Tozi's tablet. No, I think it's gonna be Toshiko's thing. Okay, so I just have to find the right...
I've got nothing else to say.
Okay, and then this is to slow it down. Okay.
I saw Wolfgang.
And I have to remember, it's right click to fire, not left click.
We would have found...
Maybe Wolfgang was carried.
Oh, there it is.
No, that's wrong.
There we go. Awesome. Okay. Starting easy, though. I imagine it's going to get more complex later.
It's true Grace's testimony is inconsistent with where we found Wolfgang's body. But that's not Grace's fault. The only person we should be blaming is Wolfgang himself.
What the heck? Why are you blaming him?
Simple. Because he lied about being sick.
Seriously?
You can cooperate. Can't you, Toshiko? During the investigation, you told me you saw Wolfgang in the hallways at 8:10 a.m.
That's after I left.
Yes. I remember now. Ingrid. She had developed a headache, so I went to the pharmacy to find some medication. The trip itself went fine, but when I returned to the hallway, I found myself face to face
with Wolfgang?
Hold the phone! Toshiko actually saw Wolfgang?
We had a normal, pleasant exchange. He appeared perfectly healthy and even mentioned going to the tournament. Of course, he never made it.
I don't want to be that guy, but can anyone confirm this?
Mm-hmm. I heard them chatting a while in my room. Though I was bedridden like a sitting goose, I could still make out their voices here and there.
Strange. He told Grace he wouldn't attend the tournament, but then said the opposite to Toshiko.
Sounds like he was telling fibs to conceal his actual intentions.
And what's his true plan supposed to be?
To go to the boiler room. Most likely.
I'm lost. What business would a guy like him have down there?
Why? Okay, that's got to be the note. Why did Wolfgang go to the boiler room? That I can also answer.
This is it. During the investigation, I found this note tucked away inside Wolfgang's blazer pocket. A lot of it is water damaged. The paper looks like it was ripped from a notebook, and the handwriting was done in ink, but some parts are still legible.
Secret, 8:15 a.m., boiler room, close the door.
This mentions the boiler room.
Exactly. The fact we found Wolfgang in the boiler room, and this note in his pocket, it can't be a coincidence. This note must be the reason Wolfgang...
Man, if only it wasn't so smudged, we could just ask everybody to, you know, like for a writing sample, and we could kind of, then again, if someone was smart, they could just purposely maybe write with their non-dominant hand to make it not seem like the proper writing. But like we even have people's signatures in the what's it called, like the profiles, so we can kind of suss it out from there, but that'd be too easy.
That mention of a secret sure is suspicious. I'm willing to bet Wolfie's reason had something to do with it.
Agreeing to meet a stranger in some spooky dark place? Wolfgang had nerves of steel.
Ulysses, Grace, do you remember Wolfgang getting delivered a weird note?
No. The only time I recall him receiving anything was when Tozy distributed those envelopes.
I don't know anything about a note.
Really? Wolfgang shared nothing with you guys?
Guess he didn't want them to know what it said.
Right. And if Wolfgang wanted to keep this note a secret, he would obviously want to keep the meeting a secret too.
Then the reason he told Grace he felt sick
was to remove her from the picture. Yeah, once she's not in the room, Wolfgang has his opportunity to sneak out and head downstairs. That's also why he encouraged her to attend the tournament.
Didn't this same guy ask us to share our blackmail with each other? Talk about double standards.
Are we sure he wasn't just trying to protect Grace? Maybe he knew he was meeting someone dangerous, so he thought it would be safer not to involve her.
That does sound like something Wolfgang would do.
Not to interrupt, but on the subject of blackmail, did Wolfgang ever confront the person he had?
Oh? You don't know whose blackmail he got?
Well, if you recall what Wolfgang said originally.
For that reason, I implore you all to speak with the person whose blackmail you have, and them only. Even if the contents of the envelope seem horrible, give the person a chance to explain themselves.
Regardless of the blackmail's contents, it would be treated as a matter between the recipient and the subject of the blackmail, and no one else. Which makes me wonder, could whether or not Wolfgang confronted his person clue us into what had originally been written on that note?
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
If that person somehow realized Wolfgang carried their blackmail, but never came forward about it, they could have demanded Wolfgang show it to them, hence the mention of a secret. However, if Wolfgang did confront his person, I don't see why that same person would then send him a threat.
So then he's saying that maybe it would be related to Wolfgang's secret, which we know that we have.
Not least act coy about information they both know.
If the person being blackmailed wasn't the one who wrote the note, who was?
Obviously, it would be the student with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Oh, I knew that.
Yes, the secret in question may actually be a reference to Wolfgang's blackmail, not the sender's.
Is there any way to figure out whose secret it is?
We'd probably need to know whose blackmail Wolfgang had first.
Oh, I've got just the idea. Yo! Person who Wolfgang had blackmail on! If he gave you your blackmail back, can you say something?
Don't forget the person with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Oh, right. Hey! Person who's got Wolfgang's blackmail! If you're innocent, say something already!
Oh god, am I gonna speak up? I know I've been wanting to kind of keep that close to my chest, so if I'm innocent, I should say something. Would telling everyone I have Wolfgang's blackmail really guarantee my innocence in their eyes? Oh, can I make the choice whether or not to say anything? Maybe I'll get myself into like a bad end if I don't speak up. I don't know. Although everyone may follow my direction during the trial, since they can't ignore the evidence on my side. When it comes to me, of all people, owning Wolfgang's blackmail, how do I know they won't suddenly change their tune? They might chastise me for not revealing his blackmail sooner, or maybe they'll think I'm confessing and accuse me of murdering him. It's not like I wouldn't be able to refute their arguments, but do I really want to subject myself to all of that? Does the trajectory of this trial really depend on whether or not Oh.
I was hesitant to admit it, since I knew it would put me on the spot. But I'd rather be suspected than be the reason this trial comes to a standstill.
Eh?
Are you confessing? Do you have Wolfgang's blackmail?
Nah, not his.
Seriously? Way to be anticlimactic.
However, it's thanks to him that I have my own.
Your own?
Wolfgang approached me the same day everyone received an envelope. Funnily enough, it happened right after I'd finished speaking with my own person. He and we had a good talk. He gave me his envelope and asked me to take care of it.
Well, at least we know Wolfgang's not a hypocrite. He did exactly what he told everyone else to do.
If you need the proof.
Ah, Wolfgang's envelope had the same signature.
Aye. I held on to the letter for safekeeping. This should have all been said sooner. I realized that. I suppose my pride was stronger than my rectitude. My mistake for stringing everyone along.
I mean, at least you're honest.
Unlike me, who's keeping quiet, maybe hearing Jean speak up, maybe that'll encourage me to speak up as well.
Truth. Thanks for letting us know, bud.
I like Jean. I think with Wolfgang gone, I think he's going to be kind of our de facto leader. He kind of already was.
Indeed. To acknowledge one's own misdoings is a most virtuous feat, I believe.
We've got the hopeful music swelling. Maybe I'll be like, oh, should I be honest as well?
Right. It's very noble.
I think it's going to be about me learning to trust people. I think that's what this whole thing is for Damon, except with everyone being murdered, it's like, I feel like it'd go the opposite way, where it's like he would just trust people more. If I revealed my blackmail right now, would everyone here treat me the same? Would they be just as forgiving?
I take it our other blackmail person isn't gonna step forward?
Come on, Damon, please. This is only gonna make things worse for you if people find out.
If nothing happens, let's just have everyone recite whose blackmail they got one by one.
So I think, Eva knows that I have, because I think, I think she told me, I think we shared, if I remember correctly, I told her that I had his blackmail. So she's the only one other than me that knows. I wonder if she's going to spill the beans. I think she's going to be good. I don't think she's going to say anything. She's the only person I feel like I can really trust right now.
Huh? You sure that's a good idea?
No one's reciting shit!
It was only a suggestion. Calm your farm.
Even if we knew who had Wolfgang's blackmail,
he's not saying
that
it.
doesn't necessarily mean they're his killer. It's annoying they won't speak up, sure.
Damn it, Damon.
But unlike John, they would actually need to reveal Wolfgang's blackmail to prove they have it. This person might just want to respect Wolfgang's request to keep the blackmail.
Absolutely not. Damon does not respect Wolfgang at all.
I don't know. Is it really okay if we never find out?
Circumstantial evidence alone can't prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. If we want to solve this case, we need indisputable evidence.
Yeah. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle without the box art to help you.
All right, Eva's keeping to it. She's not gonna blab.
The cases, or...
Obviously, the case. The more pieces you connect, the clearer the image you're constructing becomes. The clearer the image, the more you can assume about it. Do you see what I'm saying? Once we know how Wolfgang died, the rest of this case should fall into place.
You certainly talk a lot stranger than you used to, but I think I get it.
Well, I don't want to be the one to start, but we can all agree Wolfgang was stabbed to death, right?
Stabbed to death?
When I was in the boiler room, I saw a knife bobbing around in the water near him.
Oh yeah, that's true. Except that's not the case. He was not stabbed, which means that whoever attacked him was stabbed. And then we have to get into that, like, who actually is the person that attacked him? Because they should have, like, a wound mark on them. So, like, I'm assuming that the people that we were with at the tournament are safe. I'm like, Jet, he could conceal it very easily because he's got a whole bodysuit on. So that'd be very easy for him to hide a wound.
And on the ground, there was blood. Dried blood. on the boiler room floor, and on the hallway floor.
That's gotta be Wolfgang's blood, right?
The knife was bloody, so...
Huh. Seems like a brawl happened in the hallway. While poor Wolfie was minding his own business, he was confronted by the killer, who attacked him and chased him into the boiler room.
That would line up with how we found him.
The killer stabbed Wolfgang in the hallway, then followed him into the boiler room? No, that's not what happened. I need to show everyone where they've gone wrong. Oh god, that's making my head hurt.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence.
Oh, his
It was
hands.
floating in the water right next to him.
Maybe that the proof, right? That, like...
Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor and along the underground hallway.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
Yeah, it was probably a sneak attack. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang, stabbed him from behind, and the rest is history.
With that knife-wielding villain on his tail, Wolfgang had no other place to run but the boiler room.
Okay.
So, the killer entered the boiler room after him, which was when they, you know, ended it.
It all makes sense.
Okay, whatever story they're trying to spin here, it's definitely not the truth. I can conclude as much from the crime scene. Okay, so we're going to talk about the crime scene specifically. Okay. So there was the blood spots, I think was one of the options. Oh, the hands. Burn marks, right? I could use the hands, because, like, that to me looks like electricity. Like an electric shock. What were the other ones? There was the storage closets. I don't think that's going to be it. If only we could use Wolfgang's neck. If only that could have been an option. Right? Because they said, like, he was stabbed from behind. But, like, they're saying it's a bruise and a tiny red dot. So nothing to say that it would be
The
stabbing.
bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence.
I'm gonna guess it's probably the
floating in
Tozu
water
tablet.
right next to him.
Because
Not just that.
it could
There's
be...
blood on the boiler room
Oh, it could be the blood spots
and
too,
along
or the
underground
hands.
hallway.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
Is it confrontation,
Yeah,
maybe?
it
I'm gonna
was
go with
probably a
this,
sneak attack.
about, like, where he said he
Killer
stabbed him
snuck
from
up on
behind.
No, that's wrong.
Alright, okay, good.
Jed, you talk a lot about the knife and the bloodstains on the floor, but did you ever look at Wolfgang himself?
I gave him a glance. Nothing too deep.
I figured. Had you actually taken the time to look at Wolfgang's back, you would have noticed a clear absence of stab wounds.
Like, why was the neck, though? Why was that not an option for... I feel like that would have been a perfect truth bullet, but anyway.
In fact, none of the injuries he sustained were the type to cause severe blood loss. Seriously. We went over the same thing with Cassidy during the mock trial. Couldn't you give Wolfgang the dignity of a proper investigation?
Hey, man! It's not like I didn't try! It's just... This stuff doesn't come easy, you know? Nobody wakes up thinking they'll have to solve their buddy's murder later.
Isn't that exactly what you should be worrying about in a killing game?
Not everyone has the stomach for investigating. That's fine. That's why you got people like me to do the heavy lifting.
Aw, he's so nice. Like, I feel like he says that. He's not saying that in, like, a mocking or, like, a derisive tone. He's, like, he's being genuine about, you know, it's like, I certainly would not be able to handle going near a dead body.
Since some of us here weren't able to investigate Wolfgang's body, I'll lay out his injuries. There were 2 marks on the back of his neck, a bruise and a tiny red dot. His hands were burnt too, so 3 injuries in total. Besides that, I caught nothing else.
Burns, you say?
Junior high, my dear Wilson. The killer used a flamethrower.
These didn't look like normal burns. Not the sort you'd get from a stove fire, or a hot iron, or a flamethrower, I suppose.
Contradicting my theory outright? Jeez. So this is the thanks I get for vocalizing my thoughts?
Sorry, lass.
Yes, if I may add on to what John said, the burns actually bore a strong resemblance to what you might see in cases of corona paralysis.
Chiaro, huh?
Ooh, now this I know. Coronoparalysis. It's something which happens to lightning strike victims. Getting struck by lightning is like getting kicked by a horse. The impact is so shocking. Some people will lose all feeling in their limbs for a few hours.
I was aware of lightning paralysis, but even I didn't know its official name. That's a nice head you've got on your shoulders.
Lots of people tend to overlook the importance of lightning safety, especially where I'm from. My grandpappy once tried working out in the open during a thunderstorm. Pure luck's the only reason he lived to see the next day.
Sorry to hear that and all, but what does lightning have to do with anything?
Well, if I had to guess, Ulysses, did it look like a big old tree was drawn on Wolfie?
A big old tree. Yes, that's how I would describe the burns on Wolfgang.
So Wolfgang had lightning strike scars?
Huh? We're trapped inside a building, though. Lightning can't come from anywhere.
I love Kai. I love his voice acting. He just sounds so perfectly dumb.
Could he not have been struck before the killing game? Fate is stronger than will, you know. Perhaps the deity decreed the glow of his altruism from their heavenly abode and felt him a threat.
Nay, those burns were fresh. One look was all it took for me to know that. If he had these scars before, we would have noticed them anyway.
But if those marks were recently inflicted, wouldn't it mean Wolfgang somehow went outside?
Not necessarily. This is only something I thought of just now, but the reason Wolfgang sustained burns similar to that of lightning strike victims may be because whatever inflicted his burns was equivalent in damage to a lightning strike.
You saying there's something out here channeling the power of lightning?
Something equivalent in damage to a lightning strike. The idea sounded ridiculous, but when I think back on the boiler room and what was inside it, right, if I take that object into consideration, Ulysses' theory starts to hold some weight.
This is it. Ulysses, since you write everything down, do you have a description of the boiler room in your notebook?
Yes, I do. Why?
Since some people here never investigated the crime scene, they probably aren't as familiar with the room as we are. So, you should read out your description of it.
Sure. The boiler room consists of a small concrete platform surrounded by ankle-deep water. Throughout the room are boxes filled with various garbage, and in the back looks to be a generator, charred beyond belief. What you just heard is a brief summary of my notes.
Hear that? There's a generator inside the boiler room. Of all the things which could deal similar damage to a lightning strike, doesn't a generator sound the most likely?
Didn't Ulysses say it was destroyed?
At the time of the investigation, sure. But it wasn't always destroyed. You probably don't remember. But back when we found the dummy, I mentioned something about the underground floor.
Dining hall people, you were in the building before. Tell us what's going on. Yeah, why didn't you mention this other girl? Hell, I never even saw her. Huh? You were there too, Bargain Bin. Don't even. There's a floor below us. That's where I woke up.
To be more specific, it was the boiler room I woke up inside. I hadn't been alone either. Ava was also there.
Wait, her name is pronounced Ava? I've been saying Eva this whole time. Oh my gosh. I swear I thought it was Eva. Oh god, I feel so dumb.
I woke up first.
Yeah. She did. Anyway, Ava, you agree the generator was in full working condition when we woke up, right?
Right.
So in the time since you woke up there, the generator was destroyed?
It's the only possibility. As for what destroyed the generator, well, it's hard to say for sure. My best guess would probably be
Don't waste my time.
Alright. Got one of... What are these things called again?
2 things. First, destroyed is overly vague. Ulysses explained the state of the generator much better. Charred beyond belief. Second, and more importantly, where's your proof the generator inflicted those burns?
What are you talking about? The generator must be involved. It's near where Wolfgang is lying.
Being within range of something counts as proof now, does it? Do you also consider happenstance as conclusive evidence? Funny how the standards shift, if so.
That?
Damn it, she's trying to make me look like an idiot. If I let this continue, the others might start to doubt me. I need to stop her before she veers the trial off track. Oh yeah, rebuttal showdowns. Oh, I never liked these in the original game. Okay, you thought you were the only one with an interjection animation? Think again. Sometimes a student will dislike your argument so much that they'll initiate a one-on-one debate with you. We call this rebuttal showdown. During rebuttal showdown, your opponent will fling a flurry of remarks at you, and it's your job to counter them. Use the WASD keys to slice through your opponent's argument. Naturally, you'll slash in the direction of the button pressed. Okay. To slice diagonally, simply press 2 keys at the same time. Be sure to pay close attention to the shape, size, and position of your opponent's remarks, as these will clue you into what direction you should slice. Every time you strike white text, the green side of the screen will shift left to represent your argument succeeding. Likewise, every time you miss white text, the orange side of the screen will shift right to show your opponent is winning. If you cut through enough remarks, you'll advance to the next stage. If you haven't, you'll retreat. If you're somewhere in the middle, you and your opponent will wrestle for control in a short round of cross swords. In order to gain the upper hand, you must rapidly left-click. Now to the meat of the duel, truth blades. Similar to non-stop debates, any suspected contradictions will be highlighted in gold. Hold down right-click to slice them apart with the truth blade. Okay, so Q to cycle through the truth blades. Okay, so we want to hold down right-click to slice them. Of course, don't start slicing the second you see gold. Assess the validity of the remark and check you have the correct truth blade equipped. Now let's not keep Winona waiting any longer. To battle. Alright, let's hope I do better at this than I usually do, but I doubt it. Okay, blackout. Oh shit, I didn't get a chance.
While the generator may look suspicious,
oh, right.
Consider the time frame we're working with. If the only time you saw the generator in full working condition was on the day of our kidnapping, that gives us a period of almost 4 days.
Oh shit, I sliced through too quickly.
The generator might have been destroyed.
What about the blackout? It's impossible for the generator to cause the blackout. If it was already broken prior to the tournament.
What about the blackout? The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after the murder.
Oh shit.
You only assume it happened during. Not the smartest argument from a supposed ultimate debater.
See, this is the thing about the rebuttal ones that stress me out, is because I'm so busy just trying to advance that I don't even I don't cycle through my truth bullets. I'm not really even paying attention to what they're saying. No, the blackout is definitely connected to Wolfgang's death. There's a certain piece of evidence which proves the 2 events are correlated. Okay, I haven't even had a chance to check them yet.
What about the blackout? The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after the murder. You only assume it happened during. Not the smartest argument from a supposed ultimate debater.
Oh, we're dueling, okay. Okay, I just gotta quickly go through my
What about the blackout?
Tozu tablets.
The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after the murder.
Sorry guys, I'm really not good at this.
During. Not the smartest argument from a supposed ultimate debater.
I really don't like the rebuttal. There's too much going on. Okay. Okay, so she said before or after blackout
the building
DJ
may
pad.
very well have lost its power.
Shit, she's
or after the murder.
Oh no, she's winning. No,
not
not footsteps. We want
ultimate debater.
No. shits. Okay. No, we want
What about the blackout? The building may very well have lost its power.
Oh, I want...
At any point before or after
There we go.
the murder.
Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. There's too much happening and it stresses me out.
It froze a piece of equipment which had been set up for the game tournament, Mark's DJ pad. While there was no physical clock inside the dining hall, a digital one has been built into Mark's pad. If you look at what time the digital clock is frozen on, it matches the time of death listed on the tablet, 9:35 a.m.
Well, Mark, is this true?
There's no point in me saying anything when someone else has already said it better.
Just answer with a yes or no, will you?
Yes.
In any case, the matching times are too much of a coincidence. The destruction of the generator caused the blackout, and the blackout occurred at the time of the murder. There's no way the destruction of the generator wasn't tied to Wolfgang's death.
What do you suppose happened then?
I'm willing to bet the generator's destruction resulted in the boiler room's water becoming electrified. Since Wolfgang was discovered kneeling in the water, we can reason he was standing in it at the time this happened and...
Damon, you and I both know that's not true.
Huh?
Did you forget? It's impossible for the water in the boiler room to play a role in
Oh,
Wolfgang's
that's right.
murder.
She checked to see if it was conductive.
Because it isn't even conductive.
It's not?
After Damon and I woke up in the boiler room, I wanted to investigate the flooded area. So, I tested the water.
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw... Now I'm really... Is it Eva or Ava? I swear I thought it was Eva, but Damon said Ava. So I guess I'll say Ava for now, but I kind of want to go back and, like, check the... Because I made sure, at least I thought I did, to, like, go back to watching the prequel episode and making sure to, like, listen to how they pronounce their names to, like, hopefully get their pronunciations right. And I thought it was Eva, but I'll say Eva for now, I guess. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Eva approach the pile of boxes and fish at a light bulb. Then, without hesitation, she chucked it into the water.
I even redid my test during the investigation, since Damon wasn't sure if he should touch Wolfgang's wet clothes. In both instances, I proved the water was safe to enter.
Is there any way, though, like, can water lose its conductivity after a while? I know that it wasn't long after the murder, so the water would have still probably been conductive if it was already, but...
To be honest, neither result really surprised me. Water will only act as a conductor if it makes contact with two separate energy sources. The boiler room's generator is just one source.
If you're standing in the water, one outlet should be enough.
Wait a minute, hold on a minute. Let's check the truth bullets. We have... I don't think that's it. The piece of metal is probably, I'm guessing that seems like it was used for lockpicking. But what am I looking for here? The extension cord. So that could have been used to make the water conductive and then taken out afterwards. So I'm guessing it probably was the water, but someone thought about that.
Speaking from experience, large bodies of water are terrifying conductors during storms.
And another thing I'm realizing too, okay, so, sorry guys, sorry. I'm going, because I was talking about how the thin piece of metal, it looks like it was used as a lockpick, right? So, it was changed so that, where was the thing about, yeah, the doorknob, so that locks on the outside, so you can't lock it from the inside anymore. Is it possible that a person, like, did they lock it from the inside and then changed the lock and then lockpicked their way in? I don't know. I can't remember where I was going with this, actually. I just thought about the whole thing about, like, the doorknob being flipped so now it locks on the outside, and there's something in there that looks like it was used as a lockpick. I'm sure that's gonna come up in some way. I just don't know how yet. Anyway, I'm sorry.
All it takes is one lightning bolt, and the surrounding miles are scorched.
But the generator is a slow, persistent source of electricity. It's not the same as a lightning strike.
Electricity is electricity. Doesn't matter how it manifests. The reason you two avoided electrocution is because the generator's exposed wires aren't even touching the water.
But getting back to that, the extension cord being put in the water, that could have done it.
If they were, you would have been scorched right from the start.
Okay, so that's why it wasn't conductive at the beginning. But yeah, you put that extension cord into the water so it does become conductive, I guess, and then you're able to take it out of the water, and then it's not conductive anymore.
Maybe when the generator was destroyed, some of the wiring fell into the water?
Nah. Even in its current sorry state, the generator's wires are nowhere near the water.
It doesn't make sense for the generator to pose a danger anyway. The point of the killing game is for the students to kill each other, not for the facility to kill the students.
True, but I mean, has there been, I feel like there's probably been cases, Danganronpa cases, where it wasn't a person, like, by their own hands that killed somebody. I'm just blanking, but I'm sure that that's been the case.
A feature of the building killing a student would be a meaningless death because you can't attribute a student killer to it.
As for why the generator's been charred, sometimes electrical faults happen. Even my ship's engines have broken under particularly relentless storms. And if an electrical fault caused Wolfgang's death, then his murder is purely on the hosts, ain't it?
Of course! If we were responsible for his death, your lot wouldn't be here discussing it.
Is the generator really unrelated to the case? But the timing of the blackout, it's too perfect. It can't be a coincidence.
Okay, since we've ruled out the generator, what else could have electrocuted Wolfgang?
Oh, there's the taser, right? I totally forgot about the taser.
It mightn't be relevant, but I did see one other thing on the boiler room floor.
And Desmond still has to talk about that. He's got to bring up what he discovered.
A toy gun or something. At least, that's how it came across to me.
Not a toy gun, a taser gun.
A taser? I'll shoot electricity!
Though a taser would not be would not be enough, I would think, to be able to cause that kind of, like, like that tree pattern in your hands.
I'm not sure how the taser fits in with this case, though. It doesn't seem to have been used.
Nope. The taser was definitely used.
How so? I didn't catch any sort of string protruding from it.
Not all taser guns release a string when fired. Some are completely wireless. For those types, you can tell they've been used if their blast doors are missing. Side note, blast doors are plastic panels which cover the muzzle of a taser. If a shot is fired, they pop clean off. When I was investigating the crime scene, I found the taser gun in one spot and its blast doors in another. Speaks for itself, yeah?
And here I was thinking the yellow bits were just random trash.
Where the heck did a taser gun even come from? Last time I checked, there weren't any lying around in the storage closets.
Maybe it belongs to someone here.
Oh, now we're gonna get into Desmond, right? It'd be like, does Desmond have a bunch of weapons? If everybody has things related to their, what's the word? Like to their ultimate talent.
Huh?
Just think about it for 1 second. Everyone here has a dorm room which is themed around their talent.
Yep.
Mine's got DJ equipment. Jet's got car batteries.
Oh, car battery? That could possibly be... Could that be used to electrocute the water? I mean, I don't think it's Jet. Plus, you'd have to lug around a car battery and throw it into the water and then hide it? That's not... No.
If that's what we have with our talents, what could someone with a dangerous talent have?
Are you talking about, like, knives and stuff? What? Is there something on my face?
Okay. I just want to give you a pat on the head and be like, nice try, buddy.
The person I'm talking about is Desmond.
Huh? No way! You think the gun is Desmond's?
Yeah.
Hang on. You've got it all mixed up.
Jean, do you know anything about this? As Desmond's roommate, perhaps you spotted something inside his dorm.
Alas, we stayed in my abode. I couldn't tell you if he had weapons.
Talk about suspicious.
Did Desmond agree to bunk in Jean's dorm, so Jean wouldn't see the weapons in his?
Listen, I get where you guys are coming from, but that taser gun, it's not mine. I've never seen anything like it.
Could that be something that you could get from the, because Didn't somebody say something about how, like, Wolfgang, he liked to go to the, he liked to do the gachapon? Could he maybe have got the taser from the gachapon? That seems like a weird thing to be able to get from there, but...
No, that's a lie.
A lie?
His attempt to feign innocence won't fool me, not when I know the truth. Oh, okay. What proves Desmond is lying? His talent, his charisma, his blackmail. His talent?
A marksman is obviously going to have a taser.
Like I said, I don't have any weapons.
He brushed off... Ah, damn it. He brushed off my argument aside so casually. I need to try a different approach. I doubt it's his charisma, his blackmail?
I got it. The blackmail tools you gave us. That's my evidence.
You didn't get mine, did you?
No. But the person who did...
Oh, I'm
informed me
so
of what it
dumb.
said.
That's right. Ah. I remember that Ava and Damon, they, like, told each other what they... I forgot that she got Desmond's. With his weapons at hand, Desmond guards the only one he trusts.
The writing style seems to match. I think it's legit.
That's more than a little suspicious, don't you think? Leaving a bunch of weapons unguarded during a killing game?
Don't judge me. This is the first time I'm hearing of it too.
You didn't know there were weapons in your room?
Yep, no idea.
Our rooms aren't particularly subtle in their theming. Are we supposed to believe yours is any different?
It is themed. I'm not denying that. But I sure as hell
It's too bad that we can't just... It's too bad we can't just leave and just go check out his room, although people would just accuse him of hiding the weapons.
If I did, do you seriously think I'd leave them unguarded and risk being found out?
Also, do you think that he would be honest about the taser gun being used if that were the case? He could have just lied because nobody has any knowledge about taser guns apparently except him.
Yeah. Desmond cares too much about everyone. He pointed out the broken doorknobs and gave us the idea to bunk together. Why would he hide weapons in his room?
Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talents and found the taser gun hidden inside. There's no other way to explain it.
So while Desmond gets a bunch of guns, all I get is an old game console and a dead controller.
Take the bad with the good, dearest pupil. No one fears game consoles. Well, no one besides parents and the religiously inclined.
Enough talking about consoles. Why are you guys believing Desmond so easily?
Oh, was Grace like a little salty that she got accused and it took a little bit more convincing before people laid off of her?
If the taser gun belongs to him, then he's the killer. Any argument he makes against it is just a flimsy excuse.
All right. Oh god. Ah.
Desmond is the killer. The taser gun came from his room.
I had no idea the gun even existed. I was barely in my dorm to begin with.
Because you wanted to draw attention away from your weapons hoard.
But... If this is about avoiding suspicion, why did Desmond say the taser gun was fired?
Exactly.
I don't think a killer would draw attention to their own murder weapon.
I was with Desmond.
I call it reverse psychology.
Oh, okay, wait.
You sprinkle in a little
Wait, hold on.
helpfulness, and suddenly everyone trusts
Wait.
you.
Okay. Blackout. Okay, yep, there we go. Yeah, Eloise spent her morning in the courtyard with Damon, so we can agree with Eloise.
When the murder happened.
Okay. Is Desmond innocent when I compare the evidence to everyone's statements? Okay.
Desmond is the killer.
So we want to put Blackout.
The taser gun.
I had no idea the gun even existed. I was barely in my dorm to begin with.
Because you
wanted to draw attention.
away from your
I just noticed when I fast forward, Desmond's hair just like goes... just gets really tall. Anyway. Okay, Eloise is gonna say
I don't
something.
think a killer would draw attention to their own murder weapon.
Oh, there we go.
I got it.
There we go. They spend a lot of time together. I don't know if there's something going on with them, but... Like, even from the
Regardless of
very
whether or not
beginning,
Desmond knew about the gun. He definitely wasn't involved.
you
in
have
the
your
murder.
people that seem to, like, just like Grace and Wolfgang. You got Eloise and Desmond that seem to be hanging out together a lot.
Eloise can back me up on this.
Right. Desmond and I, we were together in the courtyard at the time of Wolfgang's death.
I see. Then both of you can be ruled out as suspects.
Don't just take her word for it. She could be covering for Desmond.
Jeez, if you have a bone to pick with these guys, at least save it for when we're not solving a murder.
Yeah. Why don't you want to believe Eloise?
Because she hates her. This is the problem. I feel like Grace is definitely of everyone. She's the one who holds grudges, and she's going to automatically assume the worst of people that she already doesn't like, and that could be a really bad detriment to the rest of us.
Ever since the investigation, these two yuppies have been on my case non-stop. They're obviously working together.
Not gonna lie, I see where Grace is coming from. When Eloise tried to single her out earlier, Desmond was pretty quick to jump in and agree.
Even so, since the topic has been brought up, I would like to mention something. During my trip to the pharmacy, I believe I saw Desmond and Eloise in the courtyard together.
You also said you were back in the hallways around 8-10 a.m., didn't you? That means those two were wandering around unsupervised. Either one of them could have left the courtyard.
If Desmond was the killer, what would Eloise gain from defending him? Should the wrong vote be cast? Nothing about the
Exactly.
rules
Yeah.
suggests an accomplice of the killer would be exempt from execution.
There's been instances of this before where, like, you've had somebody helping another person, but, I mean, yeah, only the killer is the one that's going to get away with it.
That's right. And even if she was exempt, Eloise is too nice to be an accomplice to murder.
Diana's me. She's just going based on vibes a lot of the time. And the problem is, like, that screwed me over a lot of times where it's like, I was like, no, there's no way this person is too nice. Where she's like, Desmond's been helping us too much. He can't be the murderer. Eloise is too nice. She couldn't possibly be involved. I'd like to think that I kind of like work on a combination of both like my emotions and also, you know, like the evidence. But yeah, sometimes my feelings about people do cloud my judgment a little bit, I'll admit.
Grace, I realize Desmond's irked you, but that's no reason to keep steering everyone down a dead end. Let's move on.
A person who's always steering others down a dead end, huh? I guess they needed a GPS. Anyway, we should totally thank Desmond for clearing things up now. Not only do we know he's not the killer, now we know how the killer got their hands on the taser.
Now we know how... What?
Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talent, and found the taser gun hidden inside.
Yup, that is word for word what Desmond said.
Right. Good memory.
All in a day's work, babe!
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to skip.
Can you repeat that quote, Cassidy?
Again? But I just said it.
Yeah, but I want you to say it again.
All right. Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle
I love
through
Cassidy.
my dorm because of my talent and found the taser gun hidden inside.
Is there something on your mind?
If Desmond's testimony is anything to go by, then wouldn't this mean the culprit has to be male?
What?
What?
Oh, uh-oh, that goes against everything. The only person I thought it could be was Diana, so that shit. If that's the case, that throws a wrench in my thinking.
If I remember correctly, all the guys were aware of each other's pairings. With that sort of knowledge, a male student could try and infiltrate another male student's dorm.
None of us knew which room we'd be bunking in.
It only takes a quick peek to check if someone's inside or not. Anyone could have done that.
And who's to say the thief didn't barge in before we started bunking?
Or while people were having breakfast.
Seems there was a mountain of opportunities for our culprit to sneak in unnoticed. Doesn't exactly help us narrow things down, does it?
Well, guess this taser gun was a bust.
That was another. Wasn't there another Dicky Ripple one where it was like they said it only could have been a girl or it only could have been a guy? I think it had to do with like the bathrooms or something, or like the parts of the. Like only the girls could enter, only the guys could enter. I can't remember how that one played out, if that were the case.
Look on the bright side. If it's been fired, then it's probably what electrocuted Wolfie. If trying to suss out who stole it isn't feasible, why don't we, talk about Wolfie's other injuries instead? You know, the ones that weren't burn marks? Those seem like they could lead us somewhere.
Yeah. Besides the burns on his hands, Wolfgang also had a bruise and a tiny red dot on the back of his neck.
A bruise and a tiny dot, huh? Want to try tackling them in alphabetical order?
Alphabetical order? Now, aren't you full of smart ideas?
No need to thank me. It's only common sense.
Okay, let's discuss the bruise first.
I think it's safe to say the killer didn't use a flamethrower.
Yes, I think we can agree with that. Okay.
Maybe Wolfgang got into a fight? Someone might have attacked him.
Okay, so we could agree with getting into... We could agree with the
If
fight.
you can even reach that high.
Either way, something must have hit him.
Oh. Well, that's easy enough. That's the steel rolling
How
pin.
spindly he is, one tiny misstep could leave the poor fella bruised for days.
Skinny guys bruise easily, eh? Let's see if you're right. Ulysses, fall over.
No, thank you.
Okay. Something must have caused the bruise on Wolfgang's neck. What could it have been? All right, this one. Yeah, this one's easy.
And aimed for his neck.
If you can even reach
Shoot, I can't remember. Was it Cassidy who said it?
Either way, something...
Oh, no, it was Kai.
I got it. Kai is right. Something did hit Wolfgang.
Really? Man. And I was only blurting out the first thing which came to mind. Anyway, from how you're wording things, do you know what that something is?
A rolling pin.
Eh?
Wolfgang was hit with a rolling pin.
How on earth did you reach that conclusion?
Ava and I found this pin inside storage closet A, which is just a few feet from the crime scene. Coincidentally, the pin also has a dent.
You sure that's enough to say it's involved? Could just be a flimsy pin.
No. There's something else which solidifies this pin's role in the murder. Handprints. 2 of them on the edge of the pin.
So the killer used a rolling pin to attack Wolfgang?
It certainly explains the bruising on his neck.
They must have wanted him to be unconscious so he wouldn't fight back.
Exactly. It would be easier to drag him into the water if he's not awake.
You reckon the killer purposely put Wolfie in the water?
So, So did the person, okay, and then the taser comes, and the taser is the red dot. There's also that electrical, the extension cord. So they must have made the water conductive, maybe shot him with the taser and electrocuted him that way, and then that blew out the generator?
Damn! With one electrified blow, Wolfgang is zapped to bits with the taser! Since he's lying in the water, he's definitely a goner.
What's the thing, though, with the, maybe, is it the cereal and the alcohol? Is that what caused the generator to explode? Not necessarily, like, the taser? Because that, we haven't even brought that up yet.
Considering the logical ethos of the killer's rectitude, especially when governed under constricting pressure, leaving him catatonic would be the most facile solution.
I guess it makes sense.
After shooting Wolfgang with the taser, what was the killer's next move? If I figure that out, I'll be one step closer to solving the case. I want to know what the heck with the cereal and the alcohol, like what's up with that?
So let me get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin, and then chucked the pin into closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs. Because the 2 of us went inside closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember? Jed and I checked closet B. Damon and Kai checked closet C.
Oh shoot, don't tell me I have to remember all this and use that.
Grace checked closet A. And Jean and Mark checked closet D.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
Yeah, I think Mark's right. 'Cause the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room.
Okay.
Immediately after discarding the pin.
Oh, immediately after. That's probably where it's wrong. Just because the killer placed the pin earlier doesn't mean they left before we arrived. That's the footsteps. Okay. So we want to argue what Diana's saying. So we need the footsteps for that. Oh man, we got to go through a lot of this.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
Yeah, I think Mark's right. 'Cause the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room immediately, discarding the pin.
No, that's wrong!
Diana, there's proof the killer fled the underground hallway.
Is this Diana trying to change the timeline of things because she's the killer?
When the tournament attendees were looking for a backup generator, Kai and I heard someone run past our room.
Huh?
Oh man, that's right. We were just exploring the closet when all of a sudden we heard footsteps in the hallway. That's when Damon decided he was gonna follow where the footsteps came from and entered the boiler room.
Did anyone else hear these footsteps?
Nope. Not ringing any bells.
Yeah, Jen and me didn't really hear it over all our talking.
I heard the footsteps.
Huh? You did?
Well, I initially thought it was my imagination, so I never said anything.
Ashamed to say I also brushed off the footsteps. Thought I was hearing things. However, since other people can attest to hearing them...
Then someone else was on the underground floor with us.
Before anyone tries to bring it up, none of the tournament attendees could have been the person running. Since everyone explored the closets in pairs, they all have solid alibis.
I'm sure we can all vouch for that, aye?
Everyone was still in their closets after Damon and I found Wolfgang. So...
Considering the footsteps were moving away from the crime scene, I think it's safe to say they belong to the killer.
Wouldn't that mean the killer fled while you guys were exploring the rooms?
Hold on! So the killer had been right next to us?
Doy, that's a given.
Huh? How are you so calm after hearing that? The only thing which stood between us and a murderer was a door. What if they attacked us?
Well, they didn't, so I don't see what the problem is.
Sheesh, you're weird.
Why not run away earlier, though? Fleeing while everyone is searching seems really risky.
Maybe it was a miscalculation?
It's not impossible, I guess.
If not that, then maybe the killer returned to the boiler room after discarding the pin?
Sounds pretty meat-headed if you ask me.
Yes, you'd think a killer would use that moment to run away.
For the two who heard the footsteps, describe the sound.
It was kinda...
Socky.
As in, it sounded pretty soft. Like the person had taken off their shoes.
Saki, huh? Seems this killer was purposefully trying to keep quiet.
'Cause their footsteps were soft?
That seems like a leap in
Oh,
logic.
Diana. Okay. She's getting real suspicious now.
No, I get what she's saying. Everyone here has socks on, I'm pretty sure. So any one of us could have run down the hallway. The thing with shoes is, not everyone here has the same kind. If the killer had worn theirs, we might have been able to figure out their footwear from the sound it made on the floor. Then we just have to single out the person with that footwear. Man, it would have been so easy to find the killer.
We already can find the killer, though.
Oh.
What?
Oi, are you pulling our leg?
I'm completely serious. Picture a map of the building complex in your head. The building with the dorms is on the left, the courtyard is in the middle, and the building with the tree is on the right. Now, try and pin everyone's locations during Wolfgang's murder.
Shit, here we go. Ava, whatever. She's about to say, like, everyone has alibis, except for one person.
Once you do that, the identity of the killer will definitely become clear.
Is the killer someone whose position we can't place?
No, it's not about position.
Eh?
Wolfgang's killer can easily lie about their location during the murder. The only thing distinguishing their testimony from everyone else's is that theirs
Yes.
can't be corroborated.
Oh, shit. Okay. But this is... is it really Diana, though? Usually this happens in a... I don't want to assume, right? But, like, it's following the Danganronpa formula pretty well so far. Usually what happens is, like, the first half of a trial, there's, like, not all the time, but usually there's, like, a very obvious suspect. And then it ends up, like, right at the end, it turns out to be someone completely different. But it could be the case of, like, the person... Because I really can't see it as anyone but Diana. Everyone else has... Except, like Damon said, everyone has someone that can corroborate their alibi. In which case our killer... Yes, that's right. The only one here who can possibly be the killer is you. Sorry, Diana.
It has to be you!
Diana, it's you, isn't it?
Her? The makeup girl?
She's the only one here without an alibi. Those of us who attended the tournament can obviously be ruled out. And as for those who didn't, Desmond and Eloise were in the courtyard. Toshiko and Ingrid were in the same dorm room.
What about Winona? She never mentioned an alibi.
Give me a break.
Winona and I were in the building with the tree all morning. In fact, yes, Desmond and Eloise should have witnessed us walking over there, as those two were in the courtyard at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
In that case, Diana really is the only one without an alibi.
Guys, if she's the person who fled the boiler room, those footsteps we heard make a lot more sense. Heels make a pretty loud clop sound on hard floors, and the underground hallway's floor is pretty hard. Diana would obviously want to take them off. Also, heels aren't comfy to run in.
Whoa! I didn't even think of it like that. You're totally right, though. Since Diana's the only one here with heels, she would have to take them off.
Guys, what are you talking about? Me? A killer? Do you really think I could be a killer?
Oh, Diana, I really hope you've got more than that. It's just like, but guys, I'm too much of a ooh baby to do something like this.
The fact you weren't at the tournament is incriminating enough.
Not just that. Everyone but you has an alibi.
But I do have an alibi, right, Ava?
Huh?
You woke up with me this morning, and you never saw me leave my dorm.
During the brief amount of time we were together, I never saw you leave. What you did after I left for the game tournament, however, is anyone's guess.
Ava wanted to help me and Cash set up the tournament, so we told her to swing by early.
For that reason, I left Diana's dorm at 8:05 a.m. I know the exact time since her room has a clock. I probably entered the dining hall around 8:10 a.m.-ish.
So much for an alibi, then.
Diana, don't tell me.
Holy smokes, it's all falling into place!
Are we sure there hasn't been some sort of misunderstanding?
It's not possible. Diana can't be the killer. No! I refuse to believe it!
It looks like some people here aren't willing to face the facts. That's not a problem. I'll make them face the facts. Whether they like it or not, soon enough, nobody will be able to deny Diana killed Wolfgang. Alright, it seems like we're going down the road of Diana.
If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so, that might be her blood on the knife, too.
Diana's blood? Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
I don't know! Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
Killer's blood be on
Did
their
we
own
not already
weapon.
agree? The killer was wielding a rolling pin?
Well, maybe they had both. The rolling pin in one hand,
No. No, that's right, because the rolling pin was used, was two-handed, right? Okay, so that's the one that we want to do. That person's point is clearly impossible. They should realize as much if I point that piece of evidence. Okay. Why do I have a feeling that we're gonna have to do like rebuttal against Toshiko because she just refuses to believe it's Diana?
Well, maybe they had both.
All right, here we go.
The rolling pin and
one hand.
No, that's wrong.
No. The killer was only wielding the rolling pin during their confrontation with Wolfgang. You can tell just from looking at the pin. There are two handprints wrapped around the
So
edge.
interesting though, like
As if the killer had been holding the pin like a tennis racket.
Diana knocked out, or whoever, you know, I'm gonna assume Diana at this point. If Diana knocked out Wolfgang, did he like wake up at some point and like stab her with the knife?
Which makes
Because like, where does the
sense,
knife
because
come
you
into
can use
play?
more force if you use both hands. And that's what a killer wants when trying to knock out a grown man.
Then, who held the knife?
It wasn't the killer. So it was most likely the only other person in the boiler room.
Maybe he didn't go down in one hit. Maybe he did attack her before he got knocked out.
Wolfgang Akire.
What the hell are you talking about? Wolfgang, carrying a dangerous weapon? Bullshit!
If you were in his situation, wouldn't you? Wolfgang received an anonymous message asking him to meet in a basement, all whilst in the middle of a killing game. At that point, it doesn't matter how much of an optimist he is. He'd know better than to come unarmed.
A knife isn't super hard to find, either. Wolfgang probably just stole one from the kitchen.
Besides, if Diana is the one who got stabbed, it would explain the blood trail. Think about it. She arms herself with the rolling pin and attacks Wolfgang, getting hurt by him in the process. For some reason, possibly because of the blackout, she doesn't clean the blood trail she's leaving, and returns to her dorm room after.
No! That's wrong!
Huh?
I wasn't stabbed. If I was stabbed, then I'd have an injury. But there's nothing, right? There's nothing on me.
Depends. If a vein got nipped, you'd be seeing blood no matter the size of the cut. Of course, that also means a small cut will need bandaging, which I'm not seeing on you.
I don't suppose it got, she's covering it up with her bracelet, is she?
You may not see any injuries on Diana, but that doesn't mean they aren't there.
Huh?
If she wanted, she could simply hide her injuries from view. After all, someone like her has exactly what it takes.
Oh, because she's a makeup artist. Diana's talent. Yeah.
I got it. Her talent. As the ultimate cosmetologist, Diana could easily cover her wounds.
It makes sense. With the right equipment, she could probably disguise even a bandaged wound.
As Diana's bunking partner, I've seen firsthand how many different cosmetics are inside her room. So unfortunately, I have to agree.
Oh god, I can't see it being anyone but Diana at this point. I think she just straight up might be the killer.
Well, Diana, did I get anything wrong?
No. No. But
Wait. Diana, did you just say no? As in, no, you're not wrong that I covered up my wounds?
Oh.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap. You guys know what this means, right, guys? Diana is...
We're still so early
Diana
on.
just-
We're so early on. I don't think... unless she's just gonna, like, full on just make us break down everything. Because we still have, I assume, half of a trial, right? Like, they usually do, you do, like, a halfway point.
Diana just?
She just admitted it.
Diana basically just confessed!
A confession? Are you for real?
It makes sense, though, doesn't it? Diana got wounded, which proves she got in a fight with Wolfgang, which means all that stuff about Wolfgang going to the boiler room, all that stuff really did happen.
I see. I see now what you were saying. Diana, she lured Wolfgang to the boiler room by writing
All right, well, I guess Toshiko's not going to be defending her as much as I thought she was going to.
And when he arrived, she attacked him and killed him. And now, she's been lying this entire trial, hoping we would never suspect her. Yeah! How cruel!
Diana,
It wasn't me. I promise. It wasn't me.
Gonna need more of, more than that, Diana.
To think she could preach about friendship after committing a violent crime.
And then try and sentence the rest of us to punishment.
Golly, you're right. If we voted for the wrong person, we would have been executed. Ah! That's so fucked! Seriously, Diana? What the hell is your damage?
Can we at least hear Diana's side of the story?
Her side?
Well, you know, Diana has, I just think it's fair we listen.
what does it matter what she says? Look at the evidence. This case, it's closed. We know who the killer is. If you really want to ask for Diana's side of the story, then do it after the vote.
No! No! No!
Vote. That's right. We have to vote for the killer. Diana, I've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that she's the killer. I've proven it beyond a reasonable doubt, so...
No.
Is he gonna be like, so why...
No.
So why do I want to not vote right now? Why is it that when I hear her cry, I get this strange nagging feeling in my chest? Why does a tiny part of me want to believe the things she's saying? Why, all of a sudden, do I doubt myself? Alright. Okay. There's still a lot of evidence we haven't even touched on yet.
Wolfgang to the boiler room.
Oh no, there's the... Oh shit.
She killed him immediately.
Oh, there's those
Then
things
she
too,
fled the
right?
crime scene, hoping the rest of us would
Who's
never
always been
learn
so
the truth.
nice.
How could you, Diana? Poor Wolfie
If
was
Wolfgang were
only trying
here...
to keep us together.
But I would never murder Wolfgang.
You can't back out of
If you
this.
don't have an alibi, then you obviously did.
There's a lot for me to take in right now.
But I wanted to believe so badly that you were innocent. Why didn't I see you for who you were?
Everyone makes
If
mistakes.
this goes on any longer, I'm gonna be sick.
What are we waiting for then? Let's get this over with and vote.
I think it's time. Oh boy, is Diana telling the truth? How is it possible when I already know the truth? Okay, what's the thing to do? Oh shoot, I gotta... Because there's a thing where you can like absorb the bullet, right? Like the... When it's pink like that, does that mean that you can make your own?
Diana was the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room.
Oh, empathy. Absorb empathy. Okay. Okay. Lying in wait.
Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
Then she fled the crime scene,
Yeah.
hoping the rest of us would
Shoot.
never learn the truth.
How could you, Diana? Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep
Oh.
us together.
Is it gonna be maybe like if Wolfgang were here, he'd be like, he wouldn't...
Never murder Wolfgang.
I'm gonna try that one.
alibi,
Or there's the one like, but what if it's not
Then
her?
you obviously did.
But I
wanted to believe so badly that you were innocent. Why didn't I see you for who you were?
If this goes on any longer, I'm gonna be sick.
Or is it everyone makes mistakes? Like maybe we're making a mistake?
Over with and vote.
Okay. Oh gosh, I don't know with this one. Whenever they throw like these extra ones at me, that's when it really gets complicated.
Diana was the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room.
Okay.
Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
Then she fled the crime scene, hoping the rest of us
I'm gonna
would
try the
never
one like,
learn the
what
truth.
will Wolfgang want?
Could you, Diana? Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep us together.
I don't know if I'm doing this right. Ugh.
But I would never murder Wolfgang.
If you don't have an alibi, then you obviously did.
I don't know. I don't know how to do this correctly. I'm gonna lose because I'm running out of time. Ah, okay.
If this goes on any longer, I'm gonna be sick. What are we waiting for then?
I'm gonna fail here. I'm gonna fail here.
She fled the crime scene.
I don't know
The
what
rest of truth.
Oh, I can slow it down too. I should do the slowdown.
Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep us together.
I'm not doing this right. Oh, I feel so dumb.
But
I'm holding E, but it's not working. Ugh.
I would never murder Wolfgang.
Have an alibi, then you obviously did.
I missed my chance. If I can't get anyone to listen to me, this case will never be solved. Game over! Because I can't do this. What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong here. I feel really dumb that I can't figure this out.
Diana was the one. Wolfgang to the boiler room. Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
Hold, absorb, empathy. Is it, do I have to hit Q as well?
Then she
No.
fled the crime scene, hoping the
Oh, I gotta hold it down like, oh, I'm so dumb. I have to hold down, right click.
Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep us
No,
together.
I screwed it up there. Okay.
But I would never murder Wolfgang.
If you don't have
I've
an
done it before.
alibi,
I just did it. Why can't I do it?
then you obviously did.
Okay.
But I...
Let me practice this before I get there.
I wanted to believe so badly that you were innocent. Why didn't I see you for who you were?
If this goes on any longer, I'm gonna be sick.
What are we waiting for then? Let's get this over with and vote!
I did it once. I can't remember how I did it.
Diana was the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room. Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
Then she fled the crime scene, hoping the
So she's always been so nice to us. Seems to be the only one that I can do, which means maybe that's the only one.
Only trying to keep us together.
Okay, now I have to figure out which one to use it on if that's the
I would
case.
never murder Wolfgang.
If you don't have an alibi, then you obviously did.
Is it the thing where do I agree with her where I say she would never kill him?
If this goes on any longer, I'm gonna be sick.
Ugh. Alright, I'm gonna try that one. But yeah, like, I've tried it multiple times. The only one I can
Diana
seem
was the
to
one
do,
who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room.
the empathy
Once he
one,
got there,
is the she's always
killed
been
him
so nice.
immediately.
Then she fled the crime scene, hoping the rest of us would never learn the truth.
How could you, Diana? Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep us together.
But I would never. Wolfgang.
No, that's
Oh my gosh. Oh, the pathos one. Okay. That was really frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. That was probably very frustrating for you to watch. That was very
Know that Diana
frustrating.
got stabbed during her confrontation with Wolfgang, but
That was very frustrating for me to do.
prove she's the culprit.
So I guess on the plus side, it seems like when you have the empathy one, it won't let you, at least from what I can see, it won't let you just choose any option because then that would just be even more confusing. So I guess you have to just keep trying to use different ones until you get one that actually works. Because I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, why can I do it the one time with this one specific one, but I can't do it for any of the other ones? So I guess that they do that on purpose. But anyway, that's the one thing of this that has been frustrating to me, is like this whole pathos empathy thing. But I think I've got an idea of how it works now, but that was still like, ugh.
Wait. Huh?
If anything, what it should mean is that Diana was trying to get away from him as fast as possible.
Oh.
Do you hear yourself right now?
Okay, so we are going against, so it is going to be one of those things like, it's not actually Diana, but then who the heck could it be?
He's lost his mind.
The stab wounds prove that Diana was in the same room as Wolfgang before his death. She's the killer.
I'm not. I'm not.
So she's not going to deny that she got into a confrontation with Wolfgang, but she's going to say that she didn't kill him. Diana. Damn it, what's come over me? I'm getting all mushy and making a fool of myself in front of everyone.
Sheesh, Damon. How are you going to say all this dramatic stuff about Diana being the killer,
right?
And then say the opposite
exactly.
5 minutes later?
Exactly. I'm making a fool of myself. I'm making a fool of myself, and yet, when I think back on everything she's done, just because they have different opinions doesn't mean they're bad people. They clearly want the same things the rest of us, right? They want to go home. So I think it's okay to give them a chance. Yeah, that's right. We can make it through this. I wish I could speak as well as you, Wolfgang. I realize everyone's been acting tense around you and Eva, so I wanted to say hi and check that you're okay. Oh, damn it, now I'm feeling bad that I ever distrusted her. And here I was, I guess like Damon, thinking that maybe she was using her niceness as like, as a ploy, but it's like, no, why would she be nice right from the beginning if that wasn't her true nature? And Damon is turning into the typical Danganronpa protagonist, I guess, where now he's choosing to believe the best in people, slowly. Like, who else could it be? They said everybody else has alibis. In any case, if you ever need someone to talk to, just come find me, alright? Diana was always thinking of me when no one else was. She knew how frustrated I felt about everything. About Wolfgang. Of course, she tried to play it off as some kind of casual interaction between friends, but she tried to help me without making it seem like I was someone who needed help. Could someone like her really have what it takes to commit a murder? It doesn't make sense. Thinking Diana could kill another person? It doesn't make any logical sense. Here he is going against like, oh, but it's logical though.
Whatever. Who cares what this guy says? We finally know the killer. Let's cast our votes already.
I guess, if that's what everyone else is doing.
Remember, if you don't vote, you die. So none of you naysayers better get any smart...
Hey, Tozu.
Ideas?
Are you listening, Tozu? I need to ask a question.
Dude, what are you...
Hello, hello. It is I, Tozu, answerer of questions. You ask a question, I give an answer. Just common sense it is.
Answerer of questions? I thought you were a host.
I'm a host with an ascendant in question answering. A jack of all trades, if you will.
Anyway, Tozu, according to the regulations, everyone has to vote when a trial is over. My question is, when exactly can a trial be considered over?
Are we talking in a literal or philosophical sense?
I mean, does the trial end and the voting begin once we think we've solved the mystery? Or does the vote automatically start after a certain amount of time?
I see. All right, I'll humor your question. If you ask nicely.
What?
Go on. Ask the question again.
Well, are you still gonna do it?
Tozu, can I please know the factors that decide whether a trial can be considered over?
Well, since you're so polite, I'd be a fool not to tell you. The truth is, the class trial will only end once I become bored with it.
You're joking.
What? Why didn't you say this sooner?
Come now, it's not like I wouldn't announce a warning in advance. Tick-tock, Tick-tock, that's the sound of my internal clock losing patience. Let's start wrapping things up, shall we? I think we're long overdue.
Oh no, he's just saying that. Like, no, we still have so much more to go
Smart,
through.
snappy, and to the point.
Sounds terrible!
What if you're still not bored, even when we think we've solved the case?
If that happened and all of you agreed to vote, what reason is there for me to say no?
So in that case, everyone must unanimously agree to vote before voting can be held.
Indeedy.
All right. Then, since you haven't made any kind of warning, I take it you're not bored with the trial yet.
Not yet.
In that case, I don't agree to vote.
What? No way! Are you seriously pushing back the vote?
Not until I know who the real killer is.
It's obviously Diana. She's the only one without an alibi for the murder.
Diana may not have an alibi, but even so, saying she's a murderer contradicts everything we know about her.
Since when?
Diana looked up to Wolfgang, and Wolfgang cared about her. But from the moment suspicion fell on Diana, she's been nothing but a nervous wreck.
I mean, wouldn't you be if you were suspected of murder?
Does that really sound like someone with the emotional capacity to murder?
What's to say she's not faking it?
Even if she was, it'd be rash to commence a vote without hearing both sides of the story first.
You do make a good point.
We are not in a rush. I say we hear Diana out.
Yeah. I don't feel comfortable voting yet until Diana shares her testimony.
Sure thing. I'm up for listening.
But...
Diana, I promise to keep an open mind if you tell me what happened, even if it's stressful to relive. Until we have conclusive evidence to say otherwise, I'll hear you out.
There we go. That's me sounding like a protagonist, not a dick. I mean, a protagonist can be a dick, but he's sounding more like a true protagonist in these games.
I'm sorry. I'm really
Oh?
I wanted to help. I wanted to make everything okay, but all I could do was be useless. All I could do was watch him die.
Oh. So she was in the room. Oh, shit. Diana. So she's saying that someone else was in the room and she watched them die. Oh, shit. Okay. You just kept this information to yourself. Okay.
All my fault. For doing the wrong thing.
Well, she said she watched him die. I don't think she killed him, but does that insinuate that she saw someone else? But why wouldn't she speak up?
So is this a confession, or...?
No!
Huh?
I didn't kill Wolfgang.
Oh, of course you don't.
I don't know who did.
Because you would say something if you did.
But I still failed him as a friend. I failed him then. And I failed him here. But if I told the truth, things would be worse than they already are. But now that I've said nothing...
Diana watched Wolfgang die?
It's okay, sweetheart. Come on now, take deep breaths.
Yeah, we'll believe you no matter what you say.
Yeah, Kai, you're not sounding very convincing. It's looking like Diana might actually be innocent. It's looking like that, but the nagging feeling in my chest still hasn't gone away. Damn it, what am I doing? Because of one girl, I've been doubting myself and jumping from one argument to another. I can't piece together my own thoughts. How could I possibly piece together this case? I need to get a grip on myself. I need to keep sight of myself and the goal of this killer. Whatever is thrown at me next, I need to persevere. Because if I don't, if everyone else here votes wrong, I won't leave this place alive.
Has all this murder
All right, here we go.
hubbub left your head in a
So this
tizzy?
is our halfway point here.
Perhaps you need a short break. Something to lighten the mood and let you collect yourself. Something like a nice cup of tea. Welcome, one and all, to the first episode of Tozu's Tea Time. If you haven't already, please sit back and relax. Here, we do not use our brains, but deal only in gossip. Now, a question from me to you. What are sheep good at, if anything? Most humans, and some sheep, tend to respond with a resounding absolutely nothing. Sheep cannot create art or invent medicine. For goodness sake, they can't even perform music! Their limited speech and quadrupedal locomotion prevents them from reaching the heights of humans. They're practically glued to the lower echelons of the food chain. No matter how hard sheep may try, they will never be anything more than their number tags. I can't say I like that answer. Too pessimistic for me. Plus, what of the sheep who still try? The sheep who realize their fate but continue to challenge it all the same. That they can be so determined to prove their worth when humans have all but deemed them microwavable meals. Isn't that something admirable? What a shame our sheep had to be so misguided. It seems that's about all the time we have. Thank you again for attending Tozu's Tea Time. No need for extravagant farewells. I've an inkling you'll be back for tea sooner than you can say Jack Robinson. Who's Jack Robinson? I have no idea. Ta-ta!
All right, guys, that's going to do it for part 1 of the class trial. And, of course, Diana, I've been saying that she seems like the most likely culprit, but that's because we don't know the whole story. It's never that straightforward with these class trials, and she feels guilty for something, but it's for not being able to save Wolfgang rather than actually killing him. So there's obviously more to the story, as I expected. I really have no idea, though, given that everyone else seems to have an alibi for the time it happened, like who it could be. But we will probably find out in the next episode, and I'm really excited to see, like, what's Diana's side of the story, what actually happened, and who is the actual culprit. So we'll just have to wait until next time to find out and maybe conclude the class trial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned next week for part 5. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Revealing Storm, Lynn's VA, Lunar, Kenju Storm, iCognito, and Badcat.